Hey guys, today I'm going to show you exactly how to build your first n8n AI agent as if you're a complete beginner who knows nothing about n8n. I'm going to explain everything in this video and how each component works. So yeah, let's just dive straight into this video. First, I just broke down each component of the AI agent. This right here is a trigger. The trigger can be something as simple as when chat message received. So basically each time you send a message to it, it's going to run the workflow, or it could be something more complex like a webhook. But for now, we're just going to use this when chat message received node right here as a trigger. And next is the AI agent, which is the main part. AI agents usually have a set of instructions which are inside the system message, basically telling it how to act and how to respond to the user and its role in the conversation. Now, AI agents always need a chat model that they use. Here I'm using OpenAI's GPT 4.1 mini, but you can use other models such as Claude, Google Gemini, Grok, or you could even host your own model on Olama. Hosting an AI model locally basically means that you're running it on your own computer and it's using the RAM of your computer. But I just use OpenAI most of the time. The AI agent doesn't need a memory, but without the memory, it won't be able to remember the conversation history. And it's basically going to keep forgetting what you're saying. I set the context window length to 10, meaning that it can remember my past 10 interactions. Now this setup itself will work without the tool, so I can open the chat and say hello, and it will be able to use the model to respond back to me, and it will also be able to remember the conversation. So if I say something like this, my name's Ali, and then send that, and then say what's my name, it's going to remember my name, which is Ali. Now the tools is what allows the agent to carry out specific tasks, so it can retrieve data from something or take an action in an app. I just added a get rows in sheet, so it can basically retrieve all the rows inside this Google Sheet and tell me exactly where each color is inside of this Google Sheet. So I could say something like, what color is in column 1, row 2 in the Google Sheet, which is red. And it's basically going to use the Google Sheets tool to figure out that question. So the color in column 1, row 2 of the Google Sheet is red, and it is correct. So it can basically see all the contents of this Google spreadsheet, which I think is pretty cool. And with the tools, you would be able to do things like, create drafts for emails. Like it's got the Gmail tool. You can create proposals, maybe with QuickBooks. We can also add the Google Calendar tool so the agent could read all of our meetings that we have for the day. It really depends what you want the agent to do. n8n already has so many integrations that you can just add directly to the agent without having to do a bunch of research on the API documentations and having to create a complicated HTTP request. So yeah, now that you know what it does and what each component means, we can actually start creating the AI agent for yourself. So first of all, if you haven't already, create an n8n account for yourself with the link in the description and head into your dashboard and press create workflow in the top right here. And you're going to see this button right here, which says add first step. This is most likely going to be the trigger, the thing activating the workflow each time. So we're going to press on that. And as you can see, we've got a lot of options. We've got on a schedule, so we can run the workflow maybe each day, or we can also trigger it manually. But I'm going to select on chat message because we're using an AI agent. Now let's head back to the canvas and just add another node right here by pressing this plus button and then going to AI and then pressing AI agent. So this prompt right here is automatically set to json.chat input. So as you can see, when we press the source for prompt, it says connected chat trigger node. So it automatically grabs the input from the chat. Now, if we wanted to define it ourselves, we just press define below and we can add a variable inside of here. But we're just using the chat, so we're going to press this. And then for the option, we're going to add an option, and you can see we have a couple options right here, but the most important one in my opinion is the system message. This is how you're going to train your AI agent to act, and you can add specific details inside of here on how you want the AI agent to respond and how you want it to behave. So I'm just going to add keep your answers short and concise because I want to have straight answers. Okay, so that is literally it for the AI agent. You just need to add that system prompt. Now we can add a chat model. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of options that you can choose from, but I like to go with the OpenAI chat model and select GPT 4.1 mini. Now, you are going to notice that you have to connect your OpenAI account. So I'm going to show you right now how to connect your account using something called an API key. So if we press create new credential, you're going to see there is an API key field, which is required. We basically need this key to be able to authenticate certain requests to our OpenAI account. So without it, we can't do anything. So to get this said API key, you have to head over to platform.openai.com and log into your OpenAI account if you haven't already. Then press the settings icon in the top right. Then press API keys on the left right here. And then press create new secret key. You can name the key whatever you want, it really doesn't matter. You can select your default project or whatever it's called. And you can also set the permissions, but I'm just going to put mine as all. Then you just press create secret key. And you're going to get the API key one time. Now, you're not going to be able to get this API key again, so you need to save it somewhere safe and make sure you don't show this API key to anybody, because then they'll be able to use your OpenAI account to make requests, and you don't want that. So copy this key and save it somewhere safe, and also paste it into the API key field and press save. Boom, it says connection tested successfully. That means everything worked, and you can now use your OpenAI account. And for the model, you can use whatever OpenAI model you want to use, but I'm going to use GPT 4.1 Mini. Now, we want to add some memory so that the AI agent can remember certain things. So we can press the plus button right here and add simple memory. Now, as you can see, the session ID is the connected chat trigger node. Again, like the AI agent, it's going to use the chat trigger node as the memory, and for the context window length is how many past interactions the model receives as context. So it's whatever it's going to remember basically. So I like to set this to 10 so it has a bit more context and it can remember a couple more things. You can obviously put this to 50, 100, whatever you want to put. Now that is the AI agent complete, so we can open the chat and say hello, and boom, it should work. And it will also remember things at this point as well. You can see it fetches memory each time. And now we can basically add as many tools as we want so that the AI agent can use them. So we can press add right here. And for this example, I'm just going to add the Google Sheets Get Rows tool so that the AI agent can retrieve certain information from the spreadsheet. So I'm going to search up Google Sheets. Right here, Google Sheets tool. Now you do need to connect your Google Sheets account in order to use Google Sheets. So we need to create a new credential. This is what you're going to see. And I know it might look a bit overwhelming, but don't worry, I'm going to take you step by step how to get the client ID and the client secret to connect your Google Sheets account. First things first, you need to head over to cloud.google.com whenever it's something to do with Google. Okay, it could be Gmail, it could be Google Docs. Just head over to your console in the top right. Go to the top left, navigation menu, go to APIs and services, click on credentials, then press create credential of client ID. Application type needs to be web application. The name can be whatever you want, it really doesn't matter. But the important thing is the authorized redirect URIs. You need to add a URI, head back, click to copy this or the redirect URL and paste it in there. Then press create. Now once you've done that, you're going to get your client ID and the client secret. And as you can see, you won't be able to see your secret key starting in June. So make sure to save these two credentials somewhere safe and don't show them to anybody else. Once you've done that though, just paste them into the fields like so. And then you need to sign in with the Google account that you used for Google Cloud and the Google account that you're using for your Google Sheets. And before we sign in with Google, we actually need to make sure that the Google Sheets API is enabled inside of Google Cloud. Now you can do this by heading to the search bar, searching up Google Sheets API right here, clicking the first result, and then pressing enable. And once you've done that, you should see that the status is enabled. Also, I forgot to mention this, but you need to make sure that your OAuth client is public. So if you head over to your OAuth client and then press audience in the left right here, the publishing status needs to be set to published, so you can press publish app here, or you can add your email as a test user so only you can use the app. This is the way that I'd recommend doing it. So you can just keep the app private but using yourself as a test user. So just press add users and then plop your email into here and that should be good to go. Once you've done that though, you can sign in with your Google account and just press continue, and boom, it should connect your account successfully. And yeah, Now that your Google Sheets account is connected, we can now move on to the fields. Operation get rows, so we can retrieve multiple rows from this document right here. And then we're going to have to select the document, which is test spreadsheet. That's what it's called. And then we need to select the sheet. So the sheet is sheet 1. So we're going to choose the sheet 1 right here. And now we can add filters. So we can basically filter specific rows depending on the columns. But I'm not going to add any filters because I want it to get all the information from this spreadsheet. So anyways, congrats if you made it this far, because you've set up your own working n8n AI agent that can remember past interactions in a conversation and can retrieve any data from a Google Sheet. If you thought this video was useful, consider liking and subscribing. And if you ran into any issues while trying to set this AI agent up, go ahead and leave them in the comments below, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my abilities. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Peace.